Tonight, sentenced for liquor store thefts.
I think the sentence speaks very clearly to how seriously the courts take these type of organized criminal exercises.
The punishment for a crime spree that hit cities in Waterloo region and across Ontario. A justice of the peace acquitted. The explanation behind a decision over an incident in the Kitchener courthouse. A final decision on cremations.
We're actually one of the last remaining cities in Ontario that still provide it.
Why the city of Waterloo is getting out.
This retains that service within the city, all while recognizing the fact that the market has changed over the last 10 years.
Of the end-of-life service. Good evening. We begin with a sentence in a crime spree that hit Waterloo region and several other cities in Ontario. A string of more than 100 liquor store thefts, the kind that we've seen caught on camera multiple times. A man has been arrested in Guelph and ordered now to spend 5 years behind bars. CTV's Jeff Pickle joining us live now with more on this sentence. Jeff, you know, it's really remarkable the number of crimes and the number of communities that we're talking about here that were hit in this particular case.
Yeah, Tony, police say Devinder Singh, a 28-year-old man with no fixed address, is suspected in well over 100 of these liquor store robberies. He pled guilty to 31 charges, and they took place in 15 different communities, including Guelph, Cambridge, Barrie, London, and in St. Catharines, where he was eventually caught.
A specific type of theft seen in communities across Ontario. These images taken at an LCBO in Kitchener, not related to the man arrested in Guelph, but very similar in MO.
Anybody that watches the news, of course, has seen the clips of very brazen thieves just simply walking into these businesses, bringing their own backpacks, gym bags, suitcases in some cases.
In May of 2024, Guelph police arrested a man they believe was behind dozens of thefts across the province.
He would walk in and take, a number of bottles, put them in a bag and walk out. The sort of, more straight ahead kind of shoplifting.
Guelph police say they tracked the suspect to a stolen car in St. Catharines and made a high-risk arrest.
The vehicle was blocked in, and he did ram a couple of police vehicles to try and escape. Ultimately was stopped and taken into custody.
28-year-old Devinder Singh of no fixed address pleaded guilty to 31 charges related to an 18-month crime spree. Singh pled guilty to 12 counts of theft under $5,000, 8 counts of theft over $5,000, 3 counts of motor vehicle theft, and a number of other charges. Police say they believe the thefts are part of an organized crime effort.
Our belief is that it was stolen to be placed onto the black market through a number of channels, perhaps even stolen to order. So, people looking for a certain type of alcohol, he would steal it for them.
Last week, a judge sentenced Singh to 5 years behind bars.
I think the sentence speaks very clearly to how seriously the courts take these type of organized criminal exercises. The courts are not tolerant of it. The community is not tolerant of it. And I think it's important that people know if they're going to engage in this type of activity that the courts are going to take it very seriously and significant penalties will flow.
And Tracy says they believe this is only the second time in Ontario a prison sentence has been, federal prison sentence has been handed down for thefts from the LCBO. But he says the other charges, including the stealing of a vehicle and ramming police cruisers, would also factor into that lengthy sentence. Tony?
Okay, Jeff Pickle reporting live. Jeff, thank you for this. The verdict is in for Kitchener Justice of the Peace James Ziegler. The 74-year-old has been found not guilty of forcible confinement and criminal harassment over a 2024 incident involving his colleague at the Waterloo Region Courthouse. But despite his acquittal, Ziegler is not completely off the hook. CTV's Alexander Hollick explains.
That you have some safe refuge.
Justice of the Peace and former Kitchener City Councillor James Ziegler has been found not guilty. Ziegler was charged with forcible confinement and criminal harassment in an April 2024 incident involving another Justice of the Peace at the Waterloo Region Courthouse. CTV News has chosen not to identify the female complainant. During the trial, court heard emotional testimony from the woman who claimed Ziegler came into her office on April 19, 2024, slammed the door and professed his love and desire for her, which she refused. She also testified she felt like she had no way out. In his decision this morning, Justice John Oliver rejected the Crown's case on confinement. With the only evidence of his worship's state of mind indicating emotional distress, I cannot conclude that his worship knew or was even capable of perceiving that his conduct was causing the complainant to be afraid and feel like she was trapped in her office. Oliver also said that while Ziegler's actions were inappropriate, they didn't meet the standard for criminal harassment either. As inappropriate and unprofessional as that conduct was, I do not have sufficient context from which to conclude that the complainant's fear for her safety was based on her belief that the accused might cause her physical harm. Oliver ordered a 12-month peace bond to give the woman a, quote, sense of peace. There will be no more lines crossed in the future. The court order means Ziegler cannot contact the complainant, possess any weapons, or come within 100 meters of any place he knows her to be. I'm pretty sure I don't have to tell you what happens if you breach any of my terms, Oliver told Ziegler. I know what would happen, Ziegler replied. According to the Ontario Court of Justice, Ziegler is currently unassigned from judicial duties. The peace bond comes into effect immediately and will remain in place for the next year. The Crown and Ziegler's defense counsel declined to comment on today's decision. Alexandra Hollick, CTV News, Kitchener.
Time for a first check on the weather. Let's head over to Leanne Evans in studio. And there is a lot to cover tonight, Leanne, because as we just saw in Alexandra's report there, that active weather, it moved in and it's well underway.
Yeah, and it really hasn't let up since around the noon hours when that snowfall started. And it's been pretty consistent ever since, just changing in forms of precipitation. And that is why we are under a snowfall warning and freezing drizzle advisory this hour in Waterloo region and many communities right across the board. Everyone in the yellow under that warning and advisory. Now, the freezing drizzle advisory, of course, came into play later this afternoon when we saw that precipitation kind of shift. We're noticing icy surfaces, maybe a little bit of buildup on your car and on the roads as well. Now, when it comes to the snowfall, looking at anywhere from 10 to 20 centimeters of localized accumulation over the next 24 hours or so. That includes what fell this afternoon as well. But it's really two back-to-back systems that we're tracking. The first moved in this afternoon. The second is coming overnight tonight into Wednesday. So we're going to break that down and what that looks like coming up a little bit later on in the full forecast. Just want to show you the current temperatures this hour, -2 in Waterloo region, and temperatures have been rising through the day. It's not often we see our daytime high reached at the 5 o'clock hour, but that's the case today as they'll continue to rise as we edge closer to the evening hours. Tony.
Okay, Leanne, thank you. We'll talk to you again shortly. The FBI has released a new photo of Ryan Wedding, the former Canadian Olympian accused of being an international drug kingpin. The FBI says this photo was taken somewhere in Mexico this summer. Wedding is believed to be hiding in the country with the support of the Sinaloa cartel. He is accused of running a multi-billion-dollar drug empire and is one of the FBI's 10 most wanted fugitives. Wedding is also accused of orchestrating multiple murders, including killings in Canada. The Bureau is offering a $15 million reward for information leading to his arrest. Amendments were proposed to fix gaps in Canada's criminal code today. Important legislation with reforms directed at keeping kids safe and protecting victims of gender-based violence, including femicide. CTV's Abigail Beeman outlines the changes to the Justice Bill and why it's significant.
That happened on Mother's Day 2003.
A survivor of attempted intimate partner femicide, Nneka McGregor feels lucky she didn't end up a statistic. In 2024, 187 women in Canada were killed violently.
I've spent the last 2+ decades advocating for a lot of the changes that have been proposed today.
McGregor says the Liberals' new legislation goes a long way to end gender-based violence, especially the move to make femicide classified as first-degree murder and a new criminal offense for certain types of coercive and controlling behaviors to help stop abuse before it's too late.
We have an opportunity to better protect kids who are at risk of exploitation and to address very real concerns about violence against women, including violence that could be fatal.
If passed, C-16 will restore a dozen mandatory minimum penalties previously found unconstitutional, but also give courts some discretion to order shorter sentences to address the problem of potential charter infringement. The bill also makes it illegal to distribute deepfakes without someone's consent.
Unless you do XYZ, then I'm going to share that with your family. I am going to post it to all of your friends. And, children are rightfully terrified.
This cybersecurity expert says the bill closes a critical loophole and legislation is long overdue.
The delay in introducing this law has had a profound effect on kids.
There is some overlap from the beleaguered Trudeau-era online harms bill, namely the requirement for internet service providers to notify police about any child porn. But the Justice Minister says this isn't a copy and paste. He hopes to have the support of all parties to pass this bill. It's not yet clear if he will. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
A recent call for more Christmas donations from a local Indigenous organization has been answered. The group was worried it wouldn't have enough turkeys and toys to give out this year. And as CTV's Spencer Turcotte tells us, while more donations are still needed, they've avoided a crisis.
Oh, there is a turkey in there. Look at that.
A welcoming sight at the healing of the 7 generations during a period of uncertainty.
We found the last couple of years it's been very hard for us to get funding and grants for each of the programs we have.
It put them in a tough spot when it comes to their annual Christmas hamper program for First Nation, Inuit and Métis peoples. They called on the community for help, saying, "We only had 70 turkeys to provide the community with our Christmas hampers. To date, we have had close to 100 families register."
Which means probably close to 200 children. So, it was very hard for us to make that decision when we put the post out that we would have to start turning people away.
After that post, people stepped up in a big way, quickly making up the gap in turkeys needed, which will all start being delivered next week.
We'll get this emptied out as much as we can.
Part of that Christmas hamper program includes toys and other items which are still needed.
Who doesn't love a little bit of skincare? We do need toys for the children. We're still looking for donations for hats and toques and socks and hygiene for men.
And of course, hygiene products for women are being accepted too.
It's very heartwarming this time of year when, so many families are suffering. The cost of everything has gone up.
Donations can be made through their website via e-transfer or in person at their office. Spencer Turcotte, CTV News, Kitchener.
So we were hoping.
As we've told you, we've been collecting items for our Toy Mountain campaign over the last few weeks. But this year, with growing demand, organizers over at the Salvation Army have had to do something that they don't usually have to. CTV's Krista Simpson joins us now from right alongside our Toy Mountain to explain. Krista, the first thing we notice in this shot here as we come over to you is that that mountain is a lot smaller than it was yesterday.
Well, Tony, that's because members of the Salvation Army came by earlier today. Their supply of toys is dwindling, so they packed up several boxes of donations to help restock their shelves. This is a look at some of those items being picked up this afternoon. Squishmallows, Lego sets, games, and all sorts of fun stuff heading out the door so that families can choose the perfect present for their children in their home. The Salvation Army is aiming to collect toys for 5,000 children in the community this year. And this is the busiest week when it comes to people picking up their toys. So it's all done with a shopping model. So it's important that there are choices for those registered to receive support. Captain Kelly Fifield says that the distribution phase is done by the time Toy Mountain wraps up. So often the donations that come in at the end of the campaign especially are saved to start the stock for next Christmas season. So deciding to start dipping into these toys early was a tough decision to make.
Having to take them was a big call for us because it means it could put us in a place of a shortage for next year. And that's kind of how we ended up where we are, is at the end of last year we found ourselves in the same boat and we did what we could, but we did end up having to take a few that we would normally try and keep just to get through the season. And so, yeah, this year we're finding ourselves in a really tight spot and a definite shortage on gifts for those 0 to 15.
So we're happy that a lot of the toys collected so far will be gifts for children this Christmas. But of course, we now want to rebuild our mountain here and make it even bigger than it was before. There's about a week left in the campaign, and I'm told that toys for the 0 to 3 age group and 9 to 12-year-olds would be particularly helpful. But of course, all donations are appreciated. You can find more information and details on when and where you can drop off donations over on our website, ctvnewskitchener.ca, or you can join us as well as our colleagues from Bounce and Virgin Radio at the Canadian Tire on Ottawa Street in Kitchener all day from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. on Thursday to help us fill those donation boxes. The challenge is on, Tony.
It sure is, Krista. Yeah, very, very timely challenge, and so we hope to see a lot of people out on Thursday. Krista Simpson, thank you very much. And on that note, that is actually the perfect segue to get back to the business of building that mountain. So let's head out to our lobby and check in with Leanne Evans now, who is welcoming another group to our building, and they are about to add to the toy mountain and hopefully really get that mountain built back up again, Leanne.
Yeah, and tonight we need it, Tony, especially with the mountain looking a little bit emptier than it's been, with the Salvation Army coming to pick stuff up. And this group knows how to do just that. Mike Conway and the Woodhouse Group have been partaking in Toy Mountain for many years. It's great to see you.
Good to see you too, Leanne. 32 years this year.
32 years.
Yep.
Okay, so tell me about the campaign, how it's been this year. I know you had a lot of drop-offs today, too.
We did. We had a lot of drop-off. We started at Grand River Hospital, WHRN, I guess it's called now, Midtown. Started there today, and we really noticed that all the organizations, charities, including the hospitals, maybe the hospitals more than any of them, really we're looking for toys, and we do some gift certificates as well from Central Fresh Markets, one of our sponsors that gives us a pretty good deal, and people can come to the hospital and they're looking for a little bit of food, they're down on their luck. They go over to Central Fresh and get some good produce from them and some good food from Josh now, who runs it. Mike's not with us any longer. So yeah, it was really incredible today how many people were so happy to see us. And when I did the emails, they were like, yes, Mike, we are really looking forward. We really need product.
And you talk about how that demand and that need is there, and it's evident with the Salvation Army too. Toys from our Toy Mountain today. So I know you've been doing this for a long time, but what does it mean to you this year in particular, where the demand is so high for families in need this holiday season?
Well, I think every year it means a lot to us. We get the goosebumps every year when we can go out and help the organizations and the charities out. And I think this year, by far, outweighs any other year for people in need, in demand of it. Even plushies were a big thing this year because kids coming into the hospital and not something to hug, right? So, yeah.
Well, we're going to talk much more about your campaign coming up because we're going to be doing a big donation. We've got the elves here to help us as well, and we'll be doing that a little bit later on in the show. Mike, guys, thank you so much. Tony?
All right. Leanne, thank you very much. We will check in on that a little bit later. A controversial government fund had Ontario's opposition parties on fire today. Coming up, questions about who knew what, when. After the OPP reveal they are looking into a company.
I'm Karis Mapp. Coming up, I'll have more about the city of Waterloo giving up its cremation services at its Parkview Cemetery. Those services have been offered there for the last 20 years, but with increasing competition and lack of demand, the city is making a change. I'll have more on that story coming up next.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We go to a dramatic scene unfolding.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. CTVKitchener.ca, your home for news.
The city of Waterloo is getting out of the cremation business. Council's decided to have an outside company come in and take over cremation services at the municipally owned Parkview Cemetery. CTV's Karis Mapp is live now with more. So Karis, why did the city decide to make this change?
Well, Tony, city officials say it's a sign of the times. Frankly, the needs of the business have changed, a trend that started when funeral homes began taking on the service themselves. Following 20 years in the cremation business, the city of Waterloo will soon be done with the process, deciding it's too expensive and there's just too much competition.
We rely on our funeral home providers to bring us customers and bodies for our unit. and some of our current customers are looking to get into the cremation business. So they're keeping their cremations within their facilities, which has led to a decrease in cremations for us here at Parkview.
Instead, they're drawing up a lease with Southwest Crematoriums, a cooperative-owned company serving funeral homes across southwestern Ontario.
They approached us with a letter of intent to take over the facility and brought to us an offer.
Cremation rates have gone up significantly in the province of Ontario and across Canada for that matter. What that's done is it's put pressures on funeral homes to make sure that they can serve families in a way that the families expect.
The city describing the transition as bittersweet.
We're sad to see it go. However, we are comfortable that the new operators will continue to offer a service to the residents of Waterloo and keep it within our city borders.
Southwest will officially take over cremation services as of January 1st, but City of Waterloo officials say they will remain as the owners of the grounds here at Parkview.
Part of the agreement is the purchase of the retort unit. Southwest will take ownership of that, and it will remain on site.
The decision comes more than a decade after a provincial law change, which opened up more opportunities for the industry.
That was back in 2012 when legislation was changed by the province of Ontario that would allow someone to own both a funeral home and a cremation service.
And it's happening more often locally, including over at the Henry Walser Funeral Home.
We started 7 years ago with an application to the city to include a crematorium in our addition that we had planned. And just last week, we commissioned the cremation equipment.
Henry Walser is obviously working towards a crematorium on his facility, and in recent news, Urban Good has announced that they're building a new facility on Victoria Street with looking to have a crematorium in it as well.
As for Parkview, Southwest signed a lease with the city for 10 years, and officials say there's a potential to extend that for 10 more. Tony.
Okay, CTV's Karis Mapp joining us with that report. Karis, thank you so much. Over at Queen's Park today, the Skills Development Fund was once again front and center. An investigation launched yesterday by the OPP had the opposition grilling the government about what they knew and when. CTV's Siobhan Morris reports.
The day after the OPP anti-rackets branch launched an investigation of a company that's received tens of millions of dollars in taxpayer money.
What is wrong with you?
What kind of shop are you running, Premier?
Tempers flared in question period. The government maneuvering around some specifics.
We will not be commenting any further because it's before the OPP at this time.
The investigation centers around Keel Digital Solutions. They'd been getting funding from the Ministry of Colleges and Universities for years for student mental health supports. In 2023, the government says a routine audit flagged irregularities. That prompted a forensic audit.
A system that identifies the need for an audit is a system that works, a system that then, within 24 hours of receiving that, makes the appropriate referrals, is a system that works.
In the middle of all that auditing, Keel got millions in skills development cash, something the Premier defends.
We cut off the funding as soon as you get the results. You don't cut it off until you get the results. You don't presume someone's guilty right away.
The investigation has renewed pressure on David Piccini, who was spotted ringside with Keel's director the same year that company was audited. Later, as Minister of Labour, he's admitted to digging Keel's low-scoring skill development funding out from the bottom of the pile.
At the time, Speaker, we had no results of any audit, Speaker.
The opposition says it defies belief Piccini didn't know red flags had been raised.
And if that's the case, that one arm of government doesn't know what another is doing, well, they should fix that.
Asked if Piccini will still be Minister of Labour when MPPs come back from winter break, the Premier had this to say.
Yes.
Keel Digital Solutions has denied wrongdoing. They plan to cooperate with the OPP and say they look forward to a government apology when the investigation is finished. At Queen's Park, Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
Here's a live look from Carl Zare Square, where you can see in the background the skating rink is open for public skating. Also, some ice sculptures to enjoy. These were all part of a competition by Canadian artists during the recent Chris Kindle market. So some nice scenery there in the backdrop to enjoy this frosty night, and active weather moving in as well. Leanne's back with all of our weather alerts in just a couple moments. Also coming up, more talent from local hockey teams hoping to suit up for the World Juniors. Colton Weens has a look at some of the players vying for spots on international teams. And more flights canceled at Air Transat, the latest on a dispute with the airline's pilots and the customers caught up in it. We have a lot going on.
Do we ever?
It's a hive of activity in the building, and not just because of the Toy Mountain segment we're about to get to, but because things are sort of cooking in the weather department today, too.
We are just trying to keep track of everything on the go, and there's a lot on the go when we're talking about weather.
A lot of snow incoming, possibly some more messy weather, but I want to flag right off the top that there are snow events right now, and they all have different times attached to them. So in Kitchener, you've got to have your vehicles off the street by 2 a.m. tonight. Cambridge, 7 a.m. tomorrow. Waterloo, 2 p.m.
I think it's noon.
Noon. All right, let me do that again.
Okay, so here's the good thing. Our website, we're going to have all the details of all the snow events there. Kitchener,
very important. Yep.
Kitchener,
2 a.m.
Cambridge, 7 a.m.,
Yep.
Waterloo, noon
You got
tomorrow.
it. Yep.
And keep in mind, those snow events usually stay in place for about 24 hours.
That's right.
Unless otherwise extended, right?
So and the reason they're in place is because of all the active weather you're about to tell us about.
Yeah, exactly. As we take a live look outside this hour, are we at Kitchener City Hall?
We are.
Yes, we are. Okay. Well, look, people are braving the conditions.
Got to stay
looks
moving.
Actually quite calm out there right now, which is a rare occurrence for today because it really hasn't let up since around the noon hour when we saw the snow start to fall. And we saw a little bit of freezing rain, some sleet. I know, Tony, when you were coming in this afternoon, we noticed some ice accretion on the cars as well. So keep in mind if you're doing any commuting this evening into the overnight and tomorrow as well. Let's get right to all the alerts in place this hour. Snowfall warning and freezing drizzle advisory for Waterloo region and many surrounding communities. It's pretty much widespread right across southern Ontario, looking at about 10 to 20 centimeters of localized accumulation. Now that's with what fell this afternoon and into tomorrow as well. So when we're heading out on the roads, reduced visibility, heavy snowfall at times, blowing snowfall at times. I know I noticed it when I was out walking yesterday as well. So it can certainly impact your walks and your commute as well. That snow is going to transition to showers as we get in tomorrow. We'll talk more about that. But also just want to note that freezing drizzle advisory in place as well. So icy surfaces, we could see black ice at times too. And it's difficult to detect it sometimes when you're out there and noticing that ice buildup. Of course, that's that layer that we're talking about that we're noticing build up on our cars as well. Okay, so here's how things play out. This is what it looks like as we approach the 7 o'clock hour. So that snowfall is really starting to build up, especially off the north shores of Lake Huron. And this is the first system that we're watching. So we're going to be impacted by back-to-back weather systems. By tomorrow morning, the swath of snow moves in. The second Alberta Clipper from the prairies moves over to southern Ontario, crossing the Great Lakes, bringing with it heavy amounts of snowfall at times to Waterloo region and surrounding communities. It's widespread right across southern Ontario. And then we're noticing temperatures rise above the freezing mark. So then we get the chance for that mixed precipitation. It's going to depend where the temperatures fall, whether we see the messy sleet, the freezing drizzle, or the rainfall, or the snow. So we're going to have to see how tomorrow plays out, how high those temperatures actually end up rising. Then we get to Thursday, weaker lake effect bands of snowfall affecting us here locally. Again, 10 to 20 centimeters of snowfall, localized accumulation in Waterloo region. Areas north of Toronto looking at more like 20 to 25 centimeters of buildup. Let's talk about today. So we did reach a daytime high of -2. It actually came around the 5 o'clock hour. So temperatures were rising through the day, and that is just slightly below seasonal for this time of year. Overnight tonight, -1, the overnight low, feeling closer to -8 when we do factor in the wind chill. Then, as I said, tomorrow, that's what we're watching for. Temperatures to rise above the freezing mark, implementing that freezing drizzle, rainfall, or snowfall, or we might see it all through the day tomorrow from morning to night.
Okay, long-range forecast. The flurries persist into the back half of the work week and to kickstart the weekend as well. Cloudy conditions by Sunday with a high of -7. As we look in the Windsor area, you will actually see some sunshine to get into the day on Thursday with a high of -3, and Friday looks like you're ending off the week on a dry note as well. And in southern Georgian Bay, the snowfall will continue through the day tomorrow into the back half of the week too, with a high of -1 for your Wednesday, -6 the daytime high on Thursday. And we take a look at tonight's Weather Watcher photo. This is from the Samut family in Ayr, taken this morning around 7:30 a.m. We actually got so many sunrise photos in our weather inbox this morning, so that was great to see. Keep them coming because we'll try to get them all up online as well, and they were all absolutely stunning. Love the colors in this one, though, so thank you for sending this from Ayr earlier today. Tony.
We're not going to spend too much time over here because we want to get right back into our Toy Mountain campaign for this year. We are off and growing once again, and we need to get that mountain built up. So you've got some guests who are going to help us do just that tonight. And these guests have been amazing partners of ours for years.
Yes, they certainly have. Mike Conway and the Woodhouse Group back in studio once again. 32nd year for the Toy Drive.
32 years, over $1 million that we've put together from our helpers at Hasbro, Mattel, and now Toys R Us, getting the toys for kids that won't get them.
Okay, and you're going to help us obviously build this mountain back up because, of course, as we've been mentioning, the Salvation Army came and picked up some toys. So let's bring the toys in while we're chatting here. I know you have some elves helping you out.
I do. I have my son and his best friend Keegan here today. Dune's been doing this for 10 years. He was like this big. I was going to bring a picture in today. I remember when he was watching you the one day with his blue eyes. He was like,
see how fast time goes?
In love, I think, the first time he saw you. So.
Time flies when you're having fun. Okay, guys, let's bring the toys in. I love that you got these Santa sacks as well. Want to talk about someone very special who the Toy Drive is now in memory of.
He is. Larry passed away about 2 years ago now. He was a character for sure. As you all know here, it was always easy to get him going and get him off track a little bit, and you know how to get potty mouth once in a while. So Larry's looking down on us, and this is really important to him. As you know, he lost his house in a fire in Toronto in the 1950s, I think it was, and he was outside in just his underwear, as he told us, and the only people that helped him out was the Salvation Army. So Larry took that seriously, and he helped for 30 of the years and over $1 million in helping kids at Christmas.
Well, with that said, of course, Franz is here with the Kitchener Fire Department to provide some fire safety tips during the holiday season. It's great to see you, and you've got a good message for us.
It's great to be here. Thank you. I would be remiss if I didn't remind everyone, hopefully after this broadcast, that everyone would test their smoke alarms and carbon monoxide alarms. But there's a big change coming with carbon monoxide alarms and in the new year, in January of 2026. If you have a fuel-burning appliance, that is a wood stove, if you have a furnace or hot water heater, anything like that, instead of just having a carbon monoxide alarm outside your bedroom area, you must have a carbon monoxide alarm outside, on every level of your home. In the basement, if your attic is finished, it's got to be up there. All in the name of safety. Carbon monoxide is colorless, odorless. We want to keep everyone safe.
Well, it's certainly an important message to remember all the time, but of course during the holiday season as well. We're going to keep building this mountain here. Guys, thank you both so much. Thank you, Mike, to yourselves and the Woodhouse Group, and for all that you do for kids and families in need this holiday season. Thanks for taking part and being part of Toy Mountain once again.
Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and thanks for doing what you do.
All right, Tony, back over to you.
Leanne, thank you. And just ahead, we've got some new reporting on the Air Transat pilots dispute as customers try to prepare for a pilot strike. More flights already being canceled. That's next.
It's time to build a toy mountain.
Make this holiday season merry for so many kids.
Bring new, unwrapped toys to your local Canadian Tire.
All in support of the Salvation Army.
We'll be collecting donations from November 19th to December 24th.
With all donations helping families right here in our community.
Toy Mountain, supported by the Core Group, Goman's Appliances, and the Crack Specialists.
Let's make this the best toy mountain ever.
Visit ctvkitchener.ca for more ways to donate.
As the clock ticks toward a possible strike by Air Transat pilots, travelers who have flights booked in the coming days and throughout the holidays are scrambling. Today, the company canceled dozens of flights in preparation for what could be a full-on shutdown. CTV's Rahim Ladani has the latest.
Panic is setting in for Victoria. She's the maid of honor for her cousin's wedding in Cancun, but doesn't know if she'll make it.
I actually called Air Transat yesterday asking them to put me on the earlier flight in case this happens, and they refused. And here we are in the exact situation that I begged them not to put me in.
It's a different situation for these sisters from Montreal, traveling together for the first time in 15 years. But their reunion also isn't going as planned.
It's crazy. It's a lot of stress.
They're among dozens of travelers who were in Punta Cana when Air Transat asked them to cut their trip 2 days short and fly home because of the potential strike. So they flew to Toronto on Monday, but missed their connecting flight home.
On the plane, we have a delay, everything, and they were told many things that was not right. That our porter would wait for us to go to Montreal.
After spending the night in a hotel, everyone on that flight are still trying to get back to Montreal.
We have a group of 5. You have 2, it's going now to 3 o'clock. 2 other one going at 5:30, and this guy we don't know.
Eric and his friends also haven't been told if or when they'll get any of their money back.
No, we have received an email to refund the day we lost on Punta Cana.
Air Transat has already begun canceling some flights for tomorrow, but with no agreement at the bargaining table, it remains to be seen if any planes will take off.
Recapping our top stories now, Ashley Bacon in studio with us with all the latest. And Ashley, we're going to start with that sentence that we learned about today, connected to thefts from all kinds of LCBOs.
That's right, Tony. 28-year-old Devinder Singh is thought to have been involved in 100 thefts across the province. He is now facing 5 years in prison. The thefts taking place throughout Ontario, throughout the crime spree. Police say they believe Singh stole over $300,000 worth of booze between December 2022 and May 2024 when Guelph police arrested him. The verdict is in for Kitchener Justice of the Peace James Ziegler. The 74-year-old has been found not guilty of forcible confinement and criminal harassment over a 2024 incident involving his colleague at the Waterloo Region Courthouse. Though the court order, Ziegler cannot contact the complainant, possess any weapons, or come within 100 meters of any place he knows her to be.
And Ashley, looking at what our digital team's working on, a story about a food recall from a grocer in Uptown Waterloo.
That's right, Tony. Vincenzo's is recalling its sweet and savory mix. The recall is for concerns of salmonella. Health Canada told customers not to eat the mix if it has a best before date of December 10th. For more information on this story, you can scan the QR code on the bottom left of your screen to get this story on your CTV News app or to download the app right now. You can also visit our website, ctvnewskitchener.ca. Tony.
Okay, Ashley Bacon with our top stories. Ash, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Toronto has retained the infamous honor of being Canada's rattiest city.
There's always health hazards with, especially when rats get into any food-related areas. They're crawling through the dirtiest, grimiest areas, picking up bacteria, and then crawling across food prep surfaces, contaminating food areas, their droppings, urine as they're going along. So there's a definite health hazard to that. But also, as a rodent, they're continually gnawing. They like to chew on things all the time, so they will do property damage. But along with that can be wires, whether it's in a wall void or in an attic area. And if they're chewing on wires, that can be a fire hazard, obviously.
Orchid Canada says the rankings based on the number of calls that it received to treat issues with rodents, including both rats and mice at homes and businesses. Mississauga is ranked as Canada's 6th rattiest city, while Ottawa is ranked 8th. Coming up, looking to represent their countries at the World Juniors. We'll see some of the international hockey players here in southwestern Ontario who will be heading to training camps looking to make the cut for the Christmas time Classic.
holiday set decoration provided by Royal City Nursery.
We've reported on the local OHL players invited to Team Canada training camp for this year's Under-20 World Junior Hockey Tournament. Kitchener and Brantford both sending players to Niagara Falls this weekend. But both teams are also sending some of their international players to represent their home countries. CTV's Colton Weens reports.
Kirsch was sensational. Kitchener Rangers goalie Christian Kirsch finally received the call he's been waiting for. Invited to Switzerland's training camp for the 2026 IIHF Under-20 World Junior Championship.
It's just fun wearing your logo every year, and it's also going to be my last year with the U20s, so I was extremely happy when that finally came out.
The international stage is nothing new for the 19-year-old netminder who was between the pipes at last year's World Juniors in Ottawa.
I was hoping it would happen. I was with the team since 15. I was there every year, so at the U18s. I played for the Swiss team every year.
The San Jose Sharks draft pick started the majority of Switzerland's games last year, but still needs to earn a spot.
There's two other really good goalies too. I just got to show in practice how good I am, just show the coaches, gain their trust, gain the trust from my team.
Switzerland only had one win in Ottawa, but Kirsch is confident in this year's group.
I think the 06s have always been really good. We've almost beat every nation there is except Canada. We haven't beaten them yet, but we have good 06s. I have high hopes with this team.
Just hope that no one will get injured and everybody enjoys the tournament.
Rangers teammate Jakub Kromiak represented Slovakia at the World Juniors last year. While he's too old to play in it now, he remembers the honor and responsibility he felt.
Especially Slovakian people, there's lots of people watching. There's lots of hockey fans. And you don't want to make them sad or anything. So it's a responsibility. But yeah, it's I was proud when I was wearing that jersey.
Puck down, Lopanak, a quick goal. Meanwhile, the Brantford Bulldogs have a contingent of players heading to Czechia's camp. Defensemen Vladimir Drevecki and Adam Juracek, and forward Adam Banach. Juracek has been to the past two tournaments with Czechia, winning bronze both times, while Banach is currently second in scoring in the OHL. Each team is finalizing their rosters, but Kromiak says it's the mix of talents every year that makes the tournament so exciting.
I think anybody can beat anybody. That's why it's really interesting.
The World Juniors get underway on Boxing Day in Minnesota. Every game can be watched on TSN. Colton Weens, CTV News, Kitchener.
Time for a quick break, but first let's check in one more time with Leanne.
A snowfall warning and freezing drizzle advisory in place for us pretty much right across southern Ontario as we head into the evening hours. What will the forecast look like in the morning? We'll have details on a second system moving in coming up. There's a few different shows on tap tonight on CTV, but what sticks out to me is at 9 o'clock. Will there be a murder, a banishment, or a recruitment? The Traders Canada. You can tune into that, followed by The Weakest Link tonight on CTV.
We had a couple of calls after main weather, and I suspect it's because of me stumbling through the snow. Well, yeah, the log showed a couple of calls. I'm just suspecting it's people wondering about me stumbling through the snow events. So one more time.
I hope I didn't say anything wrong.
One more time very clearly. Cars off the streets by 2 a.m. in Kitchener, 7 a.m. in Cambridge, noon tomorrow in Waterloo. Because it's going to get messy, and the plows need to do their thing.
Yep, you got it. There, that was like crystal clear. Okay, so keep it in mind. And you know what? It is going to be messy as we head into the overnight hours. Those snowfall warnings and freezing drizzle advisories for communities in the yellow. And as we look at our hourly wake-up weather, we're starting off with snowfall. This is what I was talking about when those temperatures rise above the freezing mark. We're just going to have to wait and see exactly what happens, if it's snowfall, if it's rain, if it's freezing drizzle. It's all going to be one of those wait and see, but this is all coming from that second system, back-to-back weather systems bringing us this snowfall.
Temperature hovering so close to the freezing mark, just hard to tell how it's going to play out.
It is, but you know what? I do not mind the snowfall, okay, for the record, but I do not like when it's messy, like sleet.
The mixing we can do without.
Yeah.
Well, we have been highlighting some local schools taking part in Toy Mountain.
Yeah, today I had the chance to visit St. Michael's Catholic Elementary in Cambridge to see how students there have been collecting toys for others in the community. We are here today at St. Michael's Catholic Elementary School in Cambridge, where these kids have been working to build a toy mountain in support of the Salvation Army. Mrs. R has been helping lead the campaign. How's it been so far?
It's been amazing. A fabulous opportunity for students to take on a leadership role and to give back to the community. And really, all I've had to do is just kind of supervise here and there, and they've done all the hard work and motivated the whole school and got us all into the Christmas spirit.
What's it been like to be able to give back to other kids in the community?
It's been really good because I feel like the joy of when giving back, since it's like the time of year, and it's very nice to realize that we can help and we can do something about how people can't afford toys and gifts for Christmas and they can't feel the joy that we do.
We will only watch that mountain of toys here at St. Michael's Catholic Elementary School continue to grow. Great job, guys. Okay, so that was just a piece of the segment because we heard from many of the students, and I told them I wouldn't cut them out. So if you want to watch the full segment, especially if you're from St. Michael's Catholic Elementary, go to our website and watch the entirety of the segment. We aired it at CTV News at 5.
Excellent.
Yeah.
More video over there. And before we go, why don't we take a look live at Toy Mountain once again, because this is exactly what we need to see happening, Leanne. Our friends who've come in to bring us some donations are helping us restock that mountain.
Yes, and this is what we need after today. We've cleared space for the mountain to be restocked, and thanks to the folks at the Woodhouse Group for their generous efforts in supporting charities right across Waterloo region and helping make sure kids have gifts to open on Christmas morning, and for supporting our Toy Mountain for 32 years.
I think we're going to do it. We've got some jam-packed days coming up.
We do.
And we want you to be part of it. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you once again tonight, right after the CTV National News. Have a good evening.
Take care.